Ever grind yourself to dust chasing a dream, only to watch it drift further out of reach? You've bought the lie. More hustle, more grip, more sweat equals faster wins, until you're burned out, clutching at air, wondering why it's not working. Here's the jaw dropper. The tighter you squeeze, the more you lose. Manifestation isn't a wrestling match with fate. It's not obsessing over every detail or begging the universe for scraps. It's about forging an inner steel so magnetic that success can't help but roll your way. Easy, natural, unstoppable. The Stoics cracked this code centuries ago. Seneca, the sharp-eyed philosopher, nailed it. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Translation? You're not drowning in life's waves, you're sinking in your own head, clawing at things you can't control. Real juice flows when you rule what's yours. Your mind, your fire, your moves, and let the rest fall where it will. Stop chasing like a dog after a car. Start pulling like a magnet. Quit forcing doors open. Build a vibe they swing wide for. This isn't fairy dust. It's clarity with teeth, action with roots, and a spine that doesn't flinch. Stoicism hands you the tools. Shred the mental noise, kick anxiety to the curb, stride forward without panting for approval. When you stop clawing at what if and start living what is, your desires don't just show up, they line up like they were waiting for you to get it together. No stress, no burnout, just flow. So how do you hit that sweet spot? Doing without overdoing, steering without strangling. It's all in stoic grit, razor-sharp focus, and trusting the ride. Ready to ditch the struggle and draw what you want like a boss? Let's tear it apart and build it right. Number 1, the science and power of manifestation. Why letting go is the key to receiving. Most people misunderstand manifestation. They think it's about wishing for something and waiting for it to magically appear. In reality, manifestation is not about passive hoping. It's about aligning your mind, energy, and actions with what you want, while trusting the process instead of forcing it. This is where Stoicism and the principles of manifestation intersect. True manifestation isn't about control. It's about clarity, belief, and a state of inner balance that allows the things you desire to naturally align with you. What is manifestation? The science behind it. Manifestation, at its core, is the ability to bring your desires into reality through focused intention, belief, and aligned action. While many associate it with spiritual or mystical concepts, science backs the idea that your thoughts and emotions shape your reality. The reticular activating system, RAS, in the brain plays a key role. This is a bundle of nerves in the brainstem that filters out unnecessary information and focuses your attention on what's relevant. If you constantly dwell on negative thoughts, your RAS will highlight negativity in your environment. But if you consciously focus on success, abundance, and opportunities, your RAS will actively seek and recognize paths that lead to those outcomes. In other words, your reality is shaped by what you train your brain to notice. In a groundbreaking study from the Journal of Positive Psychology, researchers found that people who visualize their goals with positive expectation, rather than anxiety or desperation, are significantly more likely to achieve them. Why? Because they act from a place of confidence rather than fear, and their subconscious mind works in the background to create opportunities. The role of energy and frequency in manifestation. Everything in the universe, including thoughts and emotions, operates on frequencies. This is not just spiritual talk. This is quantum physics. Nobel Prize-winning physicist Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, demonstrated that everything in existence vibrates at specific frequencies, and similar frequencies attract each other. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist specializing in the link between thoughts and reality, explains that your emotional state broadcasts a frequency that interacts with the world around you. Fear, anxiety, and doubt operate at lower frequencies, while confidence, gratitude, and certainty operate at higher ones. When you are constantly worried and tense, you create resistance, making it harder for your desires to reach you. But when you relax, trust, and maintain a high emotional frequency, you allow the right things to flow into your life effortlessly. Why letting go works. The paradox of control. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to manifest something is holding on too tightly. They become obsessed with the outcome, constantly checking if their desire is coming true, doubting the process, and worrying about how things will happen. This desperation creates resistance, sending a signal of lack rather than abundance. Stoicism teaches that detachment is power. Epictetus wrote, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you stop fixating on when and how your desires will materialize, you free yourself from stress and open the space for manifestation to occur naturally. Psychological studies support this concept. Research from the University of California, Berkeley, found that people who approach their goals with a detached optimism, belief that it will happen without obsessing over when or how, were more likely to succeed than those who were highly anxious about the outcome. This is why people who try too hard often struggle, while those who move with calm confidence seem to attract everything effortlessly. Stoicism and manifestation, the perfect combination. Stoicism provides the perfect mindset for effective manifestation because it teaches you what to focus on and what to release. Instead of forcing outcomes, Stoicism helps you. 1. Clarify your desires. Know exactly what you want, but don't attach your happiness to it. 2. Take aligned action. Manifestation isn't about sitting still. It's about taking inspired steps toward your goals. 3. Detach from the outcome. Trust that what's meant for you will arrive at the right time. 4. Stay present and grateful. Instead of obsessing over the future, embrace the present moment. Marcus Aurelius understood this well when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your job is not to control the world, but to control yourself, your energy, and your focus. When you do this, everything else aligns naturally. Real-life proof that manifestation works. History is filled with examples of people who succeeded through belief, clarity, and detachment. Jim Carrey famously wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered and kept it in his wallet. Years later, he landed a movie role paying exactly that amount. Oprah Winfrey attributes her success to visualization combined with trust. Even in sports psychology, elite athletes use mental rehearsal and visualization to win before they ever step onto the field. The key difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck or talent. It's the ability to align their thoughts and actions, then let go and allow the process to unfold. Final thought. Relax, trust, and allow manifestation isn't about begging the universe for something. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts what they desire. Stoicism helps you detach from the outcome, eliminate unnecessary stress, and maintain the calm confidence that makes manifestation work. The more you relax and trust, the more the things you desire will come to you effortlessly. Ask yourself, are you forcing success, or are you allowing it? If you truly believe it's yours, then let go of the need to chase, because the moment you stop grasping, you open your hands to receive. 2. Understand what you truly want. Stop chasing someone else's dream. Sophia spent most of her 20s chasing what she thought was success. She worked long hours in corporate finance, pushed for promotions, and built a lifestyle that looked perfect on the outside. Expensive vacations, designer clothes, a high-rise apartment. She had everything she thought she was supposed to want. But deep down, she felt exhausted, disconnected, and strangely empty. She had spent years climbing a ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Sophia's story is not unique. Many people spend their lives chasing goals that were never truly theirs to begin with. Society, family, and cultural expectations create an invisible script that tells us what we should want: money, status, a certain type of success. But if you don't take the time to deeply examine your desires, you may spend your life pursuing something that doesn't actually fulfill you. The danger of living by external expectations. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This quote holds an uncomfortable truth. Most of what we chase is not necessary for happiness. The problem is, we rarely question our desires before we commit years of our lives to them. Psychologists call this the arrival fallacy, the false belief that once we achieve a certain goal, we will finally feel happy and fulfilled. But studies show that even after reaching major life goals, buying a dream house, landing a prestigious job, earning a certain salary, people quickly return to their baseline level of happiness. This is because external success cannot fill an internal void. If your goal is shaped by external validation rather than internal fulfillment, it will never be enough. You will always be looking for the next achievement, the next milestone, hoping that this time it will bring happiness. But happiness doesn't come from achieving more. It comes from choosing the right things to pursue in the first place. How to identify what you truly want. 1. Separate your desires from external influence. Ask yourself, if no one could see my success, would I still want this? If the answer is no, your goal is likely fueled by social pressure rather than true passion. 2. Examine what actually makes you feel alive. Look at your past experiences. When did you feel the most fulfilled, excited, and at peace? These moments hold clues to what genuinely matters to you. 3. Ask yourself why, until you get to the core. If you say, I want to be rich, ask why. If the answer is so I can travel, ask why. If it's because I want freedom, you found the real goal, freedom, not money itself. Now explore whether there are simpler, more direct ways to get that freedom. 4. Define success on your own terms. Instead of blindly chasing society's definition of success, create your own. For some, success means running a billion-dollar company. For others, it means having the freedom to work remotely and spend time with family. Both are valid, but only one may be right for you. The Stoic approach: desire less, gain more. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from mastering your desires, not from fulfilling all of them. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." If you keep chasing desires that don't align with your true self, you will always feel mentally poor, empty, unsatisfied, and restless. Stoicism teaches us to strip away distractions and focus only on what truly brings peace, fulfillment, and meaning. It's about choosing your goals consciously rather than letting society choose them for you. Sophia's realization: choosing the right ladder. After years of burnout, Sophia finally asked herself, what do I actually want? She realized she had been chasing wealth because society told her it equaled happiness. But her happiest moments weren't in boardrooms or luxury hotels. They were in quiet cafes, writing, in deep conversations with friends, in nature. So she made a radical decision. She left finance to start a simple but meaningful career as a writer. She earned less, but she was free. For the first time, she felt at peace. Because she was no longer chasing someone else's dream, she was living her own. What you chase today determines the life you live tomorrow. If you are not careful, you may wake up one day realizing that you spent your life climbing a mountain only to find out it was the wrong one. Take the time now to ask, is this what I truly want, or is this what I was told to want? Because real success is not about getting everything, it's about getting the right things. Number 3. Focus on the present. Stop obsessing over the future. Ethan spent years obsessing over his future. Every decision, every action, every thought revolved around what might happen. He worried if his business would succeed, if he would ever be wealthy enough, if he was making the right choices. He constantly strategized, planned, and analyzed, believing that this level of control would ensure his success. But instead of feeling secure, he felt paralyzed. The more he fixated on the future, the more anxious and unfocused he became. Despite his efforts, success always seemed just out of reach. The irony? The very thing he feared, failure, was becoming a reality because his mind was never in the present. He was so consumed with worrying about what could happen that he was never fully engaged in what was happening. This is the paradox of over-planning. In trying to control the future, you lose control of the only thing that truly matters, the present moment. Psychological research supports this. A study published in the journal Mindfulness found that individuals who focus on the present have higher levels of productivity, lower stress, and greater overall life satisfaction than those who are constantly preoccupied with the future. The reason? Clarity. When you are present, your mind isn't split between what is and what might be. You are able to make better decisions, recognize opportunities, and act with purpose instead of fear. Stoicism teaches the same principle. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." The Stoics understood that worrying about the future is not only useless, it is counterproductive. The future is created by what you do today, not by endlessly analyzing what might happen tomorrow. Focusing on the present does not mean ignoring the future. It means understanding that the best way to create the future you want is by showing up fully right now. If you are always looking ahead, you miss the details, the small opportunities, the lessons that only exist in this moment. Athletes, musicians, and top performers all operate in a state of flow, a mental state where they are completely immersed in what they are doing. Studies show that people who operate in this state regularly not only perform better, but also report higher levels of happiness and fulfillment. Ethan eventually realized that his constant fixation on the future was the very thing holding him back. He started practicing presence, fully engaging in conversations, focusing on one task at a time, letting go of the need to predict every outcome. The result? He became more productive, less anxious, and more open to opportunities that he had previously been too distracted to notice. His business grew, not because he obsessed over success, but because he finally focused on the only thing within his control: his actions in the present. Life does not unfold according to rigid plans. The most successful people are not those who predict the future with absolute certainty, but those who remain grounded in the present and adaptable to change. Ask yourself, are you truly present, or are you just waiting for life to begin someday? Because the truth is, someday is created by what you do right now. Number 4, master your inner world. Let go of the external element. Liam used to believe that control was the key to success. He meticulously planned his career, his relationships, and even how others should see him. He would get frustrated when things didn't go his way, when people didn't act as he expected, when circumstances changed beyond his control, when life refused to follow his carefully designed script. The more he tried to control everything around him, the more exhausted he became. No matter how much effort he put into shaping the world to fit his expectations, things never quite aligned. He felt like he was always chasing stability, but never finding peace. The turning point came when he stumbled upon a single line from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. This idea changed everything. Liam realized that most of his stress came from trying to control things that were never his to control in the first place. The opinions of others, the economy, the actions of colleagues, the outcomes of his efforts, none of these were fully in his hands. But what was? His reactions, his thoughts, his mindset, his ability to adapt. Psychology supports this idea. Studies show that people who focus on internal locus of control, believing that their power lies in how they respond to life rather than in controlling external circumstances, are happier, more resilient, and more successful than those who constantly try to manipulate their environment. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who practiced emotional self-regulation and cognitive reframing were significantly less affected by stress than those who fixated on trying to control external outcomes. This is why letting go of external control is not a weakness, it is an act of power. When you accept that you cannot dictate the actions of others, you stop wasting energy on frustration. When you recognize that outcomes are often unpredictable, you stop fearing failure. When you shift your attention to your own actions, responses, and mindset, you become unshakable. The world does not become easier, but you become stronger. Liam decided to apply this mindset shift to his life. Instead of trying to force success, he focused on showing up, doing his best, and letting go of the need to control the results. Instead of obsessing over how others perceived him, he focused on living in alignment with his values, regardless of external approval. The result? He felt lighter. He stopped reacting to every minor inconvenience as if it was a personal attack. He gained confidence because he no longer tied his worth to uncontrollable circumstances. And ironically, by letting go of control, he actually started achieving more, because his mind was clearer, his energy was more focused, and his actions were more deliberate. Stoicism teaches that true power is internal. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled one of the most unpredictable empires in history, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." No matter how much external chaos surrounds you, if your mind is steady, you remain in control. If you find yourself constantly frustrated with people, stressed about the future, or angry at circumstances, ask yourself, am I trying to control something that isn't mine to control? If the answer is yes, let it go. Instead, focus on what you can control. Your effort, your mindset, your discipline, your perspective. Liam once lived in a world of stress, endlessly trying to micromanage everything around him. But once he shifted his focus inward, life became less of a battle and more of a flow. This is the paradox of control. The more you try to control what isn't yours, the weaker you feel. The more you master yourself, the more powerful you become. Number 5, patience is the key to success. Stop rushing, start building. Noah had always been ambitious. He wanted success, and he wanted it fast. Whether it was in his career, fitness goals, or personal growth, he pushed himself relentlessly. He devoured self-improvement books, attended seminars, and tried every shortcut he could find. But no matter how hard he worked, he always felt like he was falling short. When he didn't see immediate results, he grew frustrated, doubted himself, and abandoned projects halfway. The cycle repeated. Start with enthusiasm, expect instant success, get discouraged, quit, and start over with something new. One day he came across a simple but profound Stoic principle. No great thing is created suddenly. It was a quote from Epictetus, a man who had once been a slave and later became one of the most respected philosophers of his time. For the first time, Noah realized that his problem wasn't effort, it was impatience. The illusion of instant success. We live in a world that glorifies speed. Social media highlights overnight success stories, fitness influencers promise transformation in 30 days, and countless get-rich-quick schemes flood the internet. But these narratives are misleading. What they don't show are the years of effort, failures, and persistence behind those successes. Research supports this. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who focus on long-term consistency rather than short-term intensity are far more likely to achieve their goals. The reason? Sustainable progress compounds over time. Those who stick with something, even when results are slow, eventually surpass those who burn out from trying to force rapid success. Take elite athletes, for example. The best runners, weightlifters, and martial artists don't train for a few months and expect mastery. They commit to years of disciplined, structured effort. The same applies to successful entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders. They build, refine, and persist long before success becomes visible. Why patience wins every time? Patience is not passive. It doesn't mean waiting around and hoping things magically improve. True patience is consistent action without obsession over immediate results. It's about focusing on the process, trusting in gradual progress, and understanding that real success unfolds over time. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply when he wrote, "The fruit of this life is good character and acts for the common good, but these take time." Stoicism teaches that anything worthwhile requires endurance and resilience. The key is to keep showing up, even when progress seems invisible. How to develop Stoic patience for success. 1. Detach from immediate outcomes. Instead of obsessing over fast results, shift your focus to consistently improving by 1% each day. Progress may be invisible at first, but it compounds over time. 2. Embrace the 10-year rule. Ask yourself, would I still pursue this goal if it took 10 years to achieve? If the answer is no, you might be chasing something for the wrong reasons. 3. Learn from those who endure. Study successful people in your field. You'll find that persistence, not speed, is what sets them apart. 4. Reframe setbacks as part of the process. Failure is not a stop sign. It's part of the journey. If you quit because things aren't happening fast enough, you guarantee failure. If you persist, success remains a possibility. Noah's breakthrough. Trusting the process. When Noah stopped chasing instant gratification and started committing to long-term mastery, everything changed. He no longer abandoned his goals when results were slow. Instead, he embraced the process, improving little by little. Over time, his patience paid off. His business flourished, his health improved, and his mindset became unshakable. Success doesn't come from rushing. It comes from showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting the process. If you are frustrated by slow results, remind yourself, every great achievement in history was built through patience and persistence. The question isn't how fast can I succeed? but am I willing to endure long enough to make it inevitable? Number 6. Escape the scarcity mindset. Stop chasing, start attracting. Ethan always felt like he was one step behind. No matter how much money he made, it never seemed to be enough. No matter how many accomplishments he stacked up, he always felt like there was something missing. His relationships, career, and personal growth were all driven by a single underlying belief. I need more. More money to feel secure, more achievements to feel worthy, more validation to feel loved. But no matter how much he obtained, the feeling of lack never went away. This is the scarcity mindset, the belief that there is never enough, that success, love, or happiness are limited resources, and that if you don't chase them constantly, you will be left behind. This kind of thinking doesn't just create stress, it actively repels the very things you want. When you believe that you are lacking, you operate from fear, and that fear shapes your decisions, your energy, and ultimately, your reality. Psychologists define scarcity mindset as a cognitive bias where the perception of lack creates tunnel vision, narrowing your ability to think clearly and make rational decisions. Studies from Princeton University show that people who operate with a scarcity mindset perform worse on cognitive tasks, struggle with long-term planning, and make impulsive, short-sighted choices. The very act of believing you don't have enough traps you in a cycle where you make decisions that keep you stuck in that exact state. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this destructive way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The shift from scarcity to abundance is not about magically making more money or attracting instant success. It is about retraining your mind to focus on what you have, rather than what you lack. When you believe you already have enough, you make choices from a position of confidence rather than desperation. Think about relationships. When someone desperately needs love, they become clingy, insecure, and overly attached, often pushing people away. But when someone operates from self-worth and emotional stability, they naturally attract healthy, fulfilling relationships. The same principle applies to money, career, and personal success. When you believe opportunities are scarce, you chase them with fear. When you trust that opportunities are abundant, you create space for them to flow into your life. Shifting away from scarcity requires conscious effort. The first step is recognizing when fear of not having enough is dictating your choices. Ask yourself, am I making this decision because I genuinely want it, or because I'm afraid of missing out? If fear is the driving force, pause. Redirect your focus to what you already have. Gratitude is not just a cliché, it is a scientifically proven method to rewire your brain toward abundance. Ethan eventually realized that his constant pursuit of more was a battle he could never win because his mind was wired to see less. He started shifting his focus, acknowledging what he had already achieved, appreciating his current opportunities, and trusting that more would come in time. As his mindset changed, so did his reality. He stopped making impulsive decisions. He stopped feeling anxious about the future. He started attracting better opportunities, not because the world had changed, but because he had. The paradox of abundance is simple. The less you chase, the more you attract. Scarcity mindset makes you operate from fear. Abundance mindset makes you operate from confidence. If you want more, stop convincing yourself that you don't have enough. Believe you are already full and watch the world reflect that truth back to you. Number 7. Eliminate negative thoughts and self-limiting beliefs. Train your mind to win. Nathan had a dream. He wanted to start his own business, but every time he thought about taking action, a voice in his head whispered, "What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough?" The fear of failure became so overwhelming that he never took the first step. Weeks turned into months, and months into years, and the dream remained just that, a dream. What Nathan didn't realize was that he wasn't being held back by external obstacles. He was being trapped by his own thoughts. This is what Seneca meant when he said, "We suffer in advance what we fear in the future." Most of our pain and hesitation don't come from real events, but from imagined scenarios that may never happen. The mind, when left unchecked, creates endless reasons to avoid risk, stay in comfort, and doubt our potential. But here's the truth. Belief shapes reality. If you constantly tell yourself you can't, you won't. If you train yourself to believe in possibilities, you will create them. The belief system, a practical framework to rewire your mind. Overcoming negative thinking isn't about forcing positivity. It's about retraining your mind to focus on what is possible instead of what could go wrong. Here's a simple yet effective framework: believe with BELIEVE, which mean 1. Become aware of limiting thoughts. Notice when your mind starts generating fear-based excuses. The moment you hear, "I'm not good enough" or "this will never work," pause and recognize that this is just a thought, not reality. 2. Evaluate the evidence. Ask yourself, is this thought objectively true? Has someone in my position succeeded before? Most negative beliefs are not based on facts, just emotional reactions. If others have done it, so can you. 3. List counterexamples. Every time your mind says, "I always fail," actively recall times when you succeeded. If your mind tells you, "Nobody will support me," think of at least one person who believes in you. Your brain needs proof to override fear. Give it proof. 4. Implement a new narrative. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," shift to, "I am learning how to do this." Small language shifts train your brain to see growth instead of limitation. 5. Engage in daily reinforcement. Write down 3 wins every night, no matter how small. This keeps your mind focused on progress rather than setbacks. 6. Visualize success. Neuroscience shows that the brain doesn't distinguish between imagined experiences and real ones. Spend 5 minutes each day visualizing yourself already succeeding. This strengthens confidence at a subconscious level. 7. Execute despite fear. The best way to prove fear wrong is through action. If self-doubt tells you not to do something, do it anyway. Each action rewires your brain for courage. The shift from self-doubt to self-trust. Nathan decided to put this framework into practice. He started catching his negative thoughts, challenging them, and replacing them with evidence of his capability. He stopped waiting for fear to disappear and took action despite it. At first it was uncomfortable, but soon he started making progress. One client led to another, one success built upon the next, and eventually, his business took off, not because fear vanished, but because he stopped letting it control him. Negative thoughts don't disappear overnight, but they lose their power when you stop treating them as truth and start seeing them as just noise. Your mind can either be your greatest enemy or your most powerful tool. The difference lies in what you choose to believe. So ask yourself, are you feeding your fear or are you training your mind to win? Because in the end, your life will always follow the direction of your strongest thoughts. Number 8, direct your energy wisely. Focus on what truly matters. James worked 12-hour days, constantly busy but never feeling like he was making real progress. He answered endless emails, attended meetings, and juggled tasks, yet his business barely moved forward. The problem wasn't lack of effort, it was lack of focused effort. This is where the 80-20 principle comes in. 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. In any area of life, career, relationships, health, there are a few key actions that generate the biggest impact. The mistake most people make is treating all tasks as equally important, spreading their energy thin instead of directing it toward what truly moves the needle. Stoicism teaches efficiency over effort. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others, unless it is something related to the common good." The message is clear. Stop wasting time on distractions, unimportant tasks, and meaningless busyness. To apply this, first identify your high-impact activities, the few actions that drive the majority of your success. Then, eliminate or delegate the rest. When you focus your energy on the right places, you work less but achieve more. Ask yourself, am I just staying busy, or am I actually moving forward? Because success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Number 9, practice gratitude before you achieve your goals. Happiness is now, not later. Olivia always believed that once she reached a certain milestone, getting her dream job, making 6 figures, finding the perfect relationship, she would finally feel happy. But every time she achieved a goal, the satisfaction was brief. Almost immediately, her mind shifted to the next thing she needed to feel fulfilled. She was stuck in the classic, "I'll be happy when" trap, constantly chasing a future that never arrived. This mindset is dangerous because it postpones happiness indefinitely. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from appreciating what you have in the present, not waiting for something external to complete you. As Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When you always think something is missing, you live in a state of lack, even when you already have enough. Studies confirm this. Research from Harvard shows that people who practice daily gratitude experience higher levels of happiness, reduced stress, and greater success. Gratitude doesn't mean settling, it means recognizing your progress while still striving for more. When you stop chasing fulfillment and start appreciating the present, you create an energy of abundance that naturally attracts more. So ask yourself, am I waiting for happiness? Or am I choosing it right now? Because the truth is, if you can't be grateful where you are, you won't be happy when you get where you're going. Number 10. You already have everything you need. Stop waiting, start moving. Daniel spent years believing he wasn't ready. He told himself he needed more experience before launching his business, more money before traveling the world, more confidence before taking risks. He waited for the perfect moment, the perfect skills, the perfect conditions. But perfection never came. Years passed and he realized he had been standing still, not because he wasn't capable, but because he kept convincing himself he wasn't ready. This is the lie that keeps people stuck. I'll start when I have more. More knowledge, more resources, more certainty. But the truth is, you already have enough to take the next step. The most successful people in history didn't wait until they had everything figured out. They started with what they had and adjusted along the way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do what you can, with what you have, where you are." Life rewards those who step into the flow, trust in their own ability, and move forward without waiting for permission. Everything you desire, success, abundance, fulfillment, is already within reach. It doesn't require a perfect plan, just a willingness to begin. So stop hesitating. Let go of the idea that you need more before you can start. Trust the process, trust yourself, and step forward with confidence. Because once you do, life will meet you halfway, every single time. Final thoughts: relax, trust, and allow success to flow. Stoicism teaches that the key to success is not in force or desperation, but in calm, intentional action. The moment you stop chasing and start aligning with the present, you shift from struggle to flow. The more you trust yourself and let go of the need to control every outcome, the more life begins to unfold in your favor. You don't need to prove your worth, fight against the current, or wait for the perfect moment. Everything you need is already within you: clarity, resilience, and the ability to create your reality. When you stop resisting and start embracing the journey, success stops feeling like a distant dream and becomes a natural part of your life. If this message resonates with you, like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic for more insights on effortless success and personal mastery. In the comments, type "I choose ease" to affirm that you are stepping into a mindset of trust, flow, and certainty. And share your story. What's one thing you've learned to let go of that brought you closer to what you truly want? Let's continue the conversation.